So I realized I made a mistake in my relationship. And I had no idea that this was a mistake, and I didn't know that I was doing this. So one of the mistakes I made in my relationship is that I made the mistake of asking my partner to change. And so what my partner did was is my partner would implement changes and things like that, yet me and my partner would still end up having arguments amongst each other. And what I realized is that in asking my partner to change, and I didn't come to this overnight or anything by myself, it actually came from the relationship book that I'm reading. So what I realized is that I made a mistake by asking my partner to change because I actually, he's putting in effort and doing things to appease me to reduce the disagreements and arguments we have. And then on the other hand, I'm still continuing to just act the same way and feel like I wasn't contributing to the relationship problems. And one of the things I've learned is that by my partner implementing and making changes that he did, what happened is that he became less and less of his authentic self, while I just stayed being, I stayed contributing to our relationship problems. And that's one of the reasons that we continually argue over and over about the same thing, because I was not in touch with the fact that I was really adding fuel to the fire of our arguments. And so I realize now that the reason why, our relationship is not improving is because, I realize that it really takes for me to make changes and for me to be honest with myself about my role in our disagreements and in situations that we've had, and own that. And not just expect my partner to keep doing things and putting in effort, And one of the things that I'm doing to make changes is I've been reading the relationship book, and I've realized that I can't expect my partner to do something that I want him to do that goes against what he wants to do, So I realized that, it's important that, he gets to be his authentic self and do things and be happy and enjoy himself. And I don't have to go and change that. There's things that I'm realizing that I have to accept about him, because if I'm constantly telling him that I want him to change, then that's telling him I don't love him and I don't appreciate him and I don't value him, And that's something that I had no idea that I was doing. And guys, if you are experiencing a situation where you're asking your partner to change, it's a good idea to kind of take a look at what you're doing and look at how you are adding to the problem. Don't just expect your partner to make all the changes and you just continue to do the same thing you've been doing, right? You have to be able to look at things within yourself that you have to work on, right? And, it may be the case where you have to make changes and you have to appreciate things that are a part of your partner and their personality and understand this is them. And, if you don't like a given thing about them, then, maybe you're being overly critical and maybe you need to maybe do things that, to make yourself happy and, see more value in life rather than just looking at your partner as being the problem when really you might be contributing to the problem. Now, yes, a relationship is two people. However, you're probably doing more than one thing to contribute to the problems rather than, contributing to the solutions and celebrating the successes and happinesses in your relationship. So I think that, guys, I'm learning a lot and realizing that, that I was making a mistake by asking my partner to change is something that I'm dealing with, and I'm owning and realizing that, hey, I did make a mistake. And I can admit it to the world. I did make a mistake. And I realized that, I would like to know my partner as he is and not as who I want him to be, And if I want to change things with myself, I can, and I want to improve our relationship. I don't just want it to stay stuck where it is, and I'm willing to demonstrate the changes of not expecting change from him. So he's right in feeling how he feels. And I understand his position, of working on our relationship, because he's like, well, why are we working on our relationship if it's going to be more of the same thing? And I get that. And instead of making it more of the same thing, I'm putting in the effort and putting in the practice of doing things that are different and acknowledging things, so that I'm like, I need to change this within myself to improve the relationship. And so, working on the relationship by myself is awesome. And my partner, the great thing for him is he gets to like chill out and do his thing. And I get to like, learn new things about the relationship and stuff. And, work on changing things within myself and just kind of letting him do his thing. And then, kind of letting him just like enjoy having interactions with me without there being the conflict between the two of us. And yeah, we're different people and we're going to have differences, right? And that's true. However, I'm realizing that asking my partner to change was a mistake, because it doesn't allow my partner to be his authentic self, and it doesn't allow him to be able to enjoy and have fun and do things with me, because he's feeling like it's always going to be a bunch of tension. And I don't want my partner to feel that way. I want him to know that, hey, I want to support him in what he wants to do and things like that, because I want us to have good experiences. And so I'm actually making the changes, and the relationship book I'm reading is, it's one avenue, but there's other avenues and things that I'm doing as well to improve the relationship. So I'm not just getting, a female's perspective. I'm also getting a male's perspective, and I'm not even having to spend money on doing it. I'm actually getting to do these things for free and make changes for free, instead of going to a counselor that's not going to understand, me and help me make the improvements that the things I've been doing have. So I'm just learning a lot, guys, and I'm really happy in what I'm doing. And working on the relationship by myself is not easy. It's not a situation where like it's just all positive. It's really, me really taking the situations that me and my partner have and putting them in perspective, and looking at the fact of my expectations, but then turning, my expectations of my partner, but then turning them around and realizing that my, expectations or criticisms and rules that I've placed on my partner have really been a part of the problem and not a part of the solution. So I'm really working on, being a part of the solution in my relationship as opposed to a part of the problem. So thank you guys for watching. Bye.